happened again today. Hi everyone, Gidget Carrizales, Health and Life Coach here. Yeah, it kept saying low connection again today. Hopefully you can see me and hopefully I am live. So thank you so much for joining me today. We are back again to continue talking about motivation. The 5 common thoughts or feelings that will kill your motivation and fuel your unrealistic expectations that we have placed upon ourselves for whatever reason or another. So if you are here now, go ahead and say hi and just give me a wave, drop me a heart. Let me know that you are here, and if you are unable to join me today, that's okay, no worries. Just as I have the other videos this week, I will be reposting this replay later on today. So we are back again today discussing lack of motivation. Thank you. I'm glad you can see me. So we are back again today discussing lack of motivation, feelings of failure, I can't keep up, I'm no good, I should just quit, or there just is no time for me, ever. I have too much to do. So as we have been discussing so far this week, the number one cause for this, or for these feelings, are unrealistic expectations that we have set on ourselves. So unrealistic versus realistic expectations, right? So if you are watching this replay and you have not watched the previous segments from Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I suggest that you go back and watch the previous videos that are in my news feed and then come back and watch this one. So those of you that are with me, thank you for joining. So we are discussing this week how to get motivated and to stay motivated. So Monday we covered number 1, perfectionism. Tuesday we covered the number 2, which is overwhelm. And yesterday we covered feeling stuck. And today the 4th thing that will kill your motivation is feeling behind. Whew, feeling behind. Who feels behind on any given day? Go ahead, leave in the comments with me if you are here live or joining the replay. Who feels behind? So think about it. You have this well-intended to-do list for the day, right? Unexpected things come up throughout each and every day. Not even half of the stuff that you have on your to-do list gets done. You have emails, you have voicemails that are all piling up. Your kids bring home papers to read from school that you were supposed to fill out last week and they're due today and you didn't get them in. Or all of a sudden during the workday you have unplanned meetings that come up that you have to attend, and then you go to the meeting and it was a useless meeting. It really had nothing to do with you, but it took an hour or 2 hours out of your day that you could have been doing something else that was on your to-do list. So I love those meetings, right? They have to have a meeting about the meeting. Or you look at your calendar and you're like, oh crap, I have a doctor's appointment today. I totally forgot about that. How did I miss that on my calendar? I do it quite often. So you look at everything that is coming at you throughout the day, and then you look at your unanswered emails and the things on your to-do list that you just haven't gotten to, and you start panicking or hyperventilating, right? You're like, oh my God, the work day has ended, and you know, I've got all this stuff going on after work and I haven't gotten to half the stuff that's on my to-do list, right? Anybody? Then you get home and you are into your second job and dealing with all the things that you have to do at home, cook dinner, do laundry, whatever it is, and then your kid comes to you and tells you at like 8 o'clock at night, hey mom, or dad, that field trip that I told you about a month ago that you filled out the permission slip for, well, that's tomorrow and I need a bag lunch with my name on it, right? Has that happened to anyone? It's 8 o'clock at night. All of a sudden you find out you've got to do something for your kid tomorrow. And so you're scrambling and you go to the cupboard and the bread is molded. And then you go to the fridge and the sandwich meat in the refrigerator is out of date and slimy. And you realize that you didn't even get a chance to go to the grocery store this week. Anyone? Who has that happened to? Let me know if that has never happened to you, because it has me a few times, because I have 4 kids and it's happened. So, let's take a deep breath and breathe for a moment, because all these things are coming at us at the speed of light. So, with all these things and all of this overwhelm and all of this panic, is that the unrealistic expectation is that I have to do everything. I have to do everything every single day that is on my to-do list, and that I should get to everybody that has sent me an email or left me a voicemail. I should get to everybody and everything all the time, every single day. The unrealistic expectation is that I have to answer each and every one of my emails and my voicemails every day by the end of the business day. That's a lot to take on. That's a lot to ingest every single day. The realistic expectation is that isn't going to happen. It just isn't going to happen. Does it ever? Does it ever? No. So we have to stop expecting it to happen. Stop and say to yourself, what I am going to have to do is prioritize. What are the top 5 things that are most important for me to handle today? What are the top most important emails or voicemails that I have to answer today before I leave work? Because there are most likely emails and voicemails that you don't really need to tend to. You don't have to give an answer back. So, focusing on the most important, and you take care of those, right? So, once you focus on the important things, and those are the things you take care of, everything else is just going to have to wait. Now, another variant of unrealistic expectation might be, even though I'm a mom and I have a full-time job, and some of you may be going to school or maybe taking some extra courses, or maybe you're part of the PTA committee, or maybe you're the president of the Lions Club, or you're part of the junior league, whatever you may also be committed to, you're thinking, I should be able to do it all. I should be on top of everything. I should be able to handle everything that comes my way perfectly. I should be able to do all of this, but I'm so behind and I can't keep up, so that must mean that I'm not good enough. That must mean that I'm not cut out for this. That must mean that everyone else is better than me, and I'm just not as good as they are, and there's no way that I can handle anything, so I might as well just quit. Right? Anyone ever just want to give up and throw your hands up because you just can't take care of everything? Now, the realistic expectation is that I can't do everything. It's just not going to happen because I have more jobs than just being a mom. I have more jobs than just the job that pays my bills. Or I have more things going on than the PTA or whatever committee that you may be a part of. You have way more going on than just one responsibility. Hi, Kathleen. Thank you for joining. Right? There's way much more going on than just one responsibility. So with all of this, you have to realize and tell yourself that the more I have to keep up with, the more I have to let myself be a B student instead of an A student. And this is huge. This is a huge thing because feeling behind is really a variant of perfectionism. Because when you feel behind, your thought is unrealistic is that I should be able to do everything every day perfectly. The realistic expectation that you need to replace all of this with is that there is no special heaven for an A student. There just isn't. I am going to be a B student and get to the most important things first, and everything else is just going to have to wait. You have to be okay with letting things go. You have to figure out what are those things for you, because we're all different. What is more important to one person may not be as important to the other person. So like for me, I learned a long time ago, being a single mom of 4, that if dinner dishes don't get done and they stay in the sink, then those damn dishes are just going to stay in the sink. And those dishes are going to get done the next day when I'm able to do them. Because sometimes at the end of the night, I was so freaking exhausted after working all day and running the kids and cooking dinner and bath time and homework and everything else that takes place. You have to learn, what are you okay with letting go? Now, my husband, on the other hand, it doesn't matter how tired he is, or if it's 1 o'clock in the morning before we go to bed, he is not going to bed until those dishes are done and the kitchen is clean. That is something that is very, very important to him. And now there may be things that he is okay with letting go that I may not be okay with letting go. So again, you have to learn for you what you are okay with letting go, and just knowing that those things are gonna have to wait, and the world is not gonna end if you don't get to those things. So I help my clients break all of this down, and I help them to realize that yes, there really are some things that can wait, and I coach them through, how to throw away that to-do list and utilize their calendar better, getting all of the things off of that to-do list and putting things in a place on the calendar, how to chunk things into manageable bite-sized chunks together in blocks on their calendar. And then they start realizing how much more manageable things can actually be, and it empowers them by being able to control their day-to-day a little bit better than allowing the day-to-day to control them. And yes, things are always going to come up that are out of our control, but when we learn how to do these things and we get used to it and we learn what we can live with, letting go and not stressing so much about, things start getting a little bit more manageable. And when those things come up throughout the day and throw us that curveball, we are able to get in the habit of reevaluating our day and what didn't get done and how we can incorporate it into the next day. So, where are you feeling behind? Is your to-do list controlling you? When you look at your to-do list, does it overwhelm you just looking at your to-do list? So go ahead and share with me in the comments if you are here joining me today, or if you're catching the replay, welcome here, and I would love for you to share with me today. I will be going back and checking the comments and answering those back later on. So I love that. I love that. Yes, my husband Chris is actually on here joining us today, and he says someone else's priority isn't necessarily mine. You are absolutely right, and that's one of the biggest things that is so hard for us to realize, is that just because someone else comes to you in a panic because they waited the last minute to get something done, and they come to you in a panic and they're like, this has got to be done, this has got to be done. That may not be your priority right there at that moment. So make sure that you are noticing this and that you are able to manage this and just put it in line with everything else that you have going on. So thank you so much for joining and sharing with me. So that's a wrap on today, Feeling Behind. Thank you all so much for joining me. I am actually running a little bit behind myself right now. I actually have an appointment to get to. So I am wrapping this up a little early today, and I want to thank you all so much for joining me here live or even in the replay today. I hope that this was helpful to someone and that there was something that you were able to take away. Be sure to join me back tomorrow at 11 a.m. where we are going to go over the 5th topic that kills your motivation and fuels your unrealistic expectations. You will just have to tune in and find out what it is. So thank you all so much. Have a wonderful day, and here's to your health.